Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the team of the season, Fekir. We're going to go through the card, Assisto stats, clips and summary. But before we get into all that, if I could ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below what your thoughts are on this card. And now, let's get into the video. So guys, this is the team that I used Fekir in. I played him in that cam spot in the 4-2-3-1, and overall my first impressions of this card, guys, I think this is a really good card, really solid card, capable of being a good number 10. There were some flaws with it, but we'll get into those as we go through it. Let's just get into it. Fekir, 5'8", high medium work rates, left footed, 4-star swimmers, 4-star weak foot, 8 games played, 1 goal scored, and 7 assists. Now guys, like I mentioned in the Benzema review, please do check that out if you haven't seen it. There were 4 games where I lagged out of very early on. I don't count those games for the stats, so actually it's 4 games played, 1 goal scored, and 7 assists for this card. Everything is great about this card, guys. I really love everything, especially considering he's got 4-star weak foot. If it was 5-star, it'd be better, of course. 5-star swimmers would be better, of course, but 4-star is very usable. In terms of the details, guys, I actually put an artist on him. Now this may sound weird given that the passing and the dribbling are 2 of his stronger stats, 2 of the 3 strongest stats that he has, in fact. So it might sound weird putting that on him, but actually guys, when you look at the stats and what he requires, that actually helps him quite a bit just in terms of movement and being able to move around as a cam. In terms of the attribute details, guys, the key pros of the card: fantastic passing, guys, particularly the short passing. The long passing is a little bit lacking, but his short passing is really great. His stamina, strength and aggression are all fantastic as well. He's really strong in that cam spot despite being so small. His dribbling is very good as well. Now there are a bunch of stats in here which kind of do hold this card back a little. We will just get into those shortly, just after a couple more things. The last thing to mention is his shooting. Now although I didn't score many goals with him, this card is capable of finishing good chances off, and again, I feel like it was just down to my bad finishing that he wasn't able to stick more away. Now in terms of the cons, guys, the pace is neither here nor there. I wouldn't say that he feels slow because he is small and lean as well, and give him a dribbling boost and he won't feel slow at all. So I don't feel like the pace is something to really think about too much. The long passing, like I mentioned, is sometimes a little bit of a struggle, especially when you're playing those longer through balls. He does sometimes misplace them if you don't have a little boost on that. And in terms of his dribbling, guys, there are 2 key stats you need to pay attention to: the agility and the reactions. Now both of those are relatively low in terms of his dribbling, so you do need to boost those actually, guys, because the combination of those 2 together makes him feel a little bit clunky if you don't give him that little boost as well. Otherwise, guys, I think this card is fantastic. Getting into the player traits, he's got a bunch: the power free kick trait, the finesse shot trait, flair trait, outside the foot shot, chip shot, and technical dribbler. So really, guys, this card is built for being a finisher at that number 10 slot. It was, again, my proof finishing. It didn't stick more chances away. He really is a phenomenal card. And now that we've covered all that, let's get into some of the clips that I got with him. So guys, getting into some of Fekir's clips, and what you guys are going to see is his general play at that number 10 slot and how well he did for me in that role. Now the first thing we'll get into, guys, is his pace. Now his pace is very good. He moves quickly through the gears, and guys, this is something that really allows him to play on the wing as well, because he has very decent pace. It's not elite pace, but it's good enough to be able to use him in that way, to be able to use that pace and burst away from your opponent particularly, which is what I love having in my attack midfielder, that quick surge or increase or acceleration, more to the point, which makes it a lot easier to use this card. The next we'll get into is his shooting. Now guys, although I only scored 1 goal with this card, I do feel like his shooting is good. He does have a finesse shot trait, and I just think my finishing with him was quite poor. I feel like given more time with this card, I would find my rhythm with him and be able to finish a lot better with this card than I did in these clips. The next thing we'll get into is his passing. Now his passing is very good, both short and long pass. Long pass is decent, short pass is very good. Now guys, the thing that I would say is that the long pass is not consistent enough to make him an elite passer. His crossing is good, his set pieces are good, but if you want to help this card out a little more, make him a better number 10, then certainly improving that long pass will be a key to doing that. I do feel like without that boost to the long pass, you may struggle a little bit to be able to consistently play balls like that one there. So that's just something to bear in mind as well, guys. The next thing we'll get into is his dribbling. Now his dribbling is super tight, super clean, guys. I really don't see any cons with this. However, that did also come because of the benefits of the chemistry style that I put on him. So guys, I would recommend you take a look at the chemistry styles, make sure that his dribbling is all green, because I believe his agility and reactions may hold him back if he is not in that position where he's able to do all of that. The last thing we'll get into, guys, is his physicality. Now, his physicality was actually a surprise for me. He's surprisingly strong and aggressive, able to hold his own in that number 10 slot, despite being 5'8", relatively small build as well. I didn't expect that kind of physicality out of him, so it was very nice to have that in a cam that is so agile, so mobile, and then so strong as well and aggressive. As well when he's playing with the ball, so very nice to have that as well. As we get into the final few clips, guys, you're just going to see more of the same of his creativity and the chances he made for me. And over again, I was getting a number of assists with this card. Now, you guys know I get more goals with my cam usually than assists, so that says a lot about this card, that he was able to get these assists as well. And he was able to create chances very easily. And this final one, the only goal he scored for me, which was actually terrific positioning here, right between the defense and then smashing it in. So guys, getting into this Nabil Fekir summary, 278 on the PlayStation 2, 388 on the Xbox, and 300 on the PC. The key pros of the card: a mix of his shooting, passing, and dribbling is all good. I do feel like at times he needs a little bit of help in some of these stat categories, and particularly when I recommend my chemistry stat, which may be a little different from what most people would recommend. I think the artist is the way to go with this card. Now, although it may be wasted due to the fact that he doesn't really get the best out of him in terms of pace, and then bringing out, of course, just the agility up as well, I think reactions are so important this year, guys. Now, if you look at what it does, the engine does to his pace, dribbling and passing, it's phenomenal. It's really good. It does a really good job for him as well, and boosts the right things. But I want more dribbling and passing out of my cam than anything else. And for me, guys, I'm going to recommend the artist a bit different from what the standard recommendations are. In terms of similar players, guys, there are a lot of similar players to this style of card. A much smaller, slighter player in that cam spot. Nobody on this list here that has come up, but again, a very smaller, slighter player, and we'll maybe see someone in the comparable list. I don't feel like he really compares to any of those guys that were mentioned there. In terms of links, he's of course got a perfect link to another card there. I bet he's maybe his brother or family member, I don't know. In terms of players here, he's got links to, of course, other French players in La Liga, French icons, as well as other Betis players that he will link to as well, such as William Carvalho's card, a really nice link up there to have. In terms of the price comparison, guys, we've got a card here like What If Gomez, Seedorf, Socrates, Musa Sissoko, Tanguy Ndombele, Marcus Llorente. Now, this is kind of going back up the list again. If you ask me where I feel like he sits amongst these cards, I feel like Alejandro Gomez isn't a bad comparison card actually for him. I think Gomez is a bit quicker, obviously, on the dribble and the speed, but this card has great shooting, great passing, and that's what you want primarily in a cam as well. And I do feel like, guys, he is worth this price. I do feel like he'll drop off a little more as well as Weekend League comes to an end. But guys, I definitely do think he's a fantastic card. I don't think he's worth necessarily a lot more than that. This Tanguy and Ndombele and Llorente are different style of players. But if we go to the next available cam, who is Bruno Fernandes, I don't think he quite stacks up to this Fernandes card. I still think Fernandes is a better card. But this Fekir card is a very good card. Fits very well into any team that you can build in La Liga or want to hybrid across to other leagues like Ligue 1. So I think that's a really nice thing to have in this card as well. The linkability options that you'll get with him. And he is a very good player as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please do smash that like button. Until next time, I will see you all in a bit.